Today's Talk About It Tuesday question is, I'm saving to buy a house, but they're so expensive it's taking a long time. I heard that with a mortgage you pay a lot more for your home than if you pay outright. Should I get a mortgage or keep saving until I can pay it in full? So it's interesting that I got this question because recently I've been getting a lot of people sending me these little reels and TikToks with these so-called financial gurus and real estate gurus suggesting that a mortgage is for a sucker. And their reasoning is, you're paying it off over 30 years, and with the interest that's accrued, you pay a lot more for the property than you would if you paid it outright. True and false. You actually do pay a lot more for the property with interest over the course of 30 years. But let's just go back and do some simple math, and then I'll walk you through why it doesn't matter that you're paying more, that the value of it in 30 years will offset the difference of the extra money that you pay. But let's just talk about the beginning of this thing. So the average home price today is about $420,000 nationwide. So if the average home price is $420,000 and you had to save $420,000, not including the closing costs, we're not even going to talk about the closing costs, to purchase this property, if you are a great saver and you can save $10,000 a year, which is about $833.33 a month. If you could save $833.33 a month, which is $10,000 a year, and still cover all of your expenses and still live the lifestyle of your dreams, it would take you 42 years to save $420,000. And in 42 years, the price is definitely going to be a lot more, and you'll be way older and probably not be able to appreciate the home. But if you get a mortgage, you are using what we call leverage. So in general, as a first-time home buyer, you'll probably put down about 4% of the purchase price, plus about 6%. It would cost about 6% of the purchase price for closing. That means you need to come up with 10% of the total purchase price in order to take possession of this property and live in it and enjoy it as you pay it off over the next 30 years. So what's 10%? $42,000. So if you are still a great saver and you can save $10,000 a year, $833.33 a month, now it'll take you about 4.5 years, a little less than 4.5 years to save, to then purchase a $420,000 home that you get to enjoy for $42,000 as opposed to waiting to save $420,000. So will you pay more? On a 30-year mortgage, the average increase in price that a person pays is about 20%. So that means you'll pay 20% more than the $420,000. So I did some math for you. 20% more than $420,000 is $84,000. So if you add the $84,000 to the $420,000, then you get $504,000. So you actually would end up paying $504,000 if you let this thing stretch out over 30 years. You can actually pay more on your mortgage and cut this thing down. Or you could refinance and if you're in a better financial position and do a 15-year mortgage, right? But that's just say you did the whole 30 years. So now instead of a $420,000 price tag, you got a $504,000 price tag. So you're saying, well, wait a minute, it's not worth it. Well, you have to understand that in most cases, the value of your property will increase. It will appreciate. So if we get super modest and say that the property value only appreciates by 1% annually, only by 1% annually over 30 years, that means the property will have gained. It will have gained in value to about $566,096. Right, that's 1% on $420,000. If you go into an appreciation calculator and you put 1%, 30 years, then it will be worth in 30 years $566,096. So now, if we said you effectively paid $504,000 and it's now worth $566,000, you still have a net gain in value of $62,096. So even though you're paying more for it, you're still getting a bargain, because what it will be worth by the time you pay for it is less than the value, right? And well, it's more than what you paid for it, I should say. But that's being modest. Let's say you have a appreciation of 2%, so just 1% more. 2%, the same number, 420,000 at 2% appreciation over 30 years, then the property will be worth $760,771. So if you again subtract what you effectively paid for it, which was $504,000, you have a net gain of, what did I say? Now I had to write that one down. Well, we have to do the math. I don't know if I did the math, but subtract 504,000 from 760,000. And I mean, it's just a phenomenal number. So 760,000 minus, you over $200,000 in net gain. So I don't understand why they're saying that it's for suckers or you're paying more, when if you do the math effectively, you are not paying more. You are getting it for a tenth of the price to live in and to enjoy over the 30 years, while gaining value. And again, at 1%, you still gain, at 2%, significantly over $200,000. So you have to decide, is it for suckers or is it a smart move? Do you want to wait 42 years to buy a house, or do you want to get it in 4.5 years? To me, the answer is simple. It's always about the math. The math doesn't lie. These, TikTok gurus can tell you what they want to try to make you believe something, but I don't know what they're selling, because it sounds ridiculous to me. But if you simply do some mathematical equations, the math will tell you. It's a great idea to get the value of a $420,000 house at $42,000 and live in it and enjoy it and pay it off over time, as opposed to spending years and years and decades trying to save and then not living long enough really to enjoy it for so long. So I'd love to hear your take on it. Please like, share, subscribe, keep the questions coming, and I'll see you next Tuesday.